Hello YouTube, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. Now, we have a question here from YouTube user Naladal. I'm assuming that your username is pronounced very similar to how Quetzalcoatl would be pronounced. So Naladal. And Naladal's question is, why do law firms need your first and last name just for the intake call? Alright, super simple answer. Law firms have to do what is called a conflict check when you call them. They need to make sure that you are not someone that they cannot help because they have a conflict. That could be anything, right? It could be that you worked for a client of that firm, like someone that firm represented in maybe the past 3 to 5 years. It could be that you're secretly someone's ex-spouse and there's going to be some issue of is the firm harming you or not doing a good job because they all hate you because you hurt their buddy or their pal or whatever, right? There's a million different ways you can have a conflict. So they need to do a conflict check. It is an ethical requirement for attorneys that they perform a conflict check before they take on a case and do even give really legal advice, right? So at least with our firm, the stage that takes place is intake, right? So everyone enters all of their conflicts into a system as they occur in your life, right? Like if you're like, oh, I've got a new best friend. My best friend is a new best friend who just happens to own a business. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. A business with 10,000 employees. Okay, so that's a conflict, right? That's a huge conflict, and you've got to enter that in the conflict check. And I'm going to be honest with you, if one of those 10,000 employees calls up the firm, well, that new friend of yours is going to be a pretty expensive friend to have because you're not going to be able to take that case. Could be a big case, right? Could be a big money case, and you can't take it because it's a conflict. Or at least you gotta look at the conflict and make informed decisions. Maybe you got to do disclosure and get the client to waive the conflict. There's a lot that goes into a conflict and a conflict check, and how you ethically live up to your duties under the ethical requirements of the conflict check. I tell you, whenever I start doing a video, I start coughing. Anyways, so Naladal, that's why. There's also a lot of other reasons why. So that's the big reason why. We got to do a conflict check. If we don't know who you are, we can't do the conflict check. Also, frankly, why would we waste our time on someone who doesn't want to give us their name? I just want to talk to you but not give you my name. Okay, time waster. Run along. That's not a potential case. That's, no offense to you, Naladal. It's a time waster, right? That's just somebody who's I just want to talk to you. I just want to waste attorney time. You got any of that attorney time that I can waste? Yeah, okay. No, run along. Come on now. What are we doing? We're not, this YouTube channel, we do to help people. But the phone calls, we do as part of our business. And I'll tell you what, we don't really have as many people as we love to throw attorneys at phone calls for time wasters, right? Part of what intake does is identify time wasters. Who are just yeah, I just want to make up stories about horrible discrimination so I can figure out which story is better so that when I lie, my lie is better. Yeah, okay, we're not going to do that for you because, one, that's a bad thing to do and you're a bad person. We hope bad things happen to you. But also, it's not a good use of our time. Right? We're here to help people and in helping people make money. And the only people we want to help are the people with sincere claims because they've been sincerely wrong. So, Naladal, I'm not saying you're making up anything, and I'm not saying you're a time waster, but I am saying generally there's a massive correlation between the people who are yeah, I just want to give you a fake name, or I don't want to give you my name. I just want to talk to an attorney. Yeah. That person is not going to hire your firm. Ever. Really. One, no offense, Naladal. They might be dealing with some kind of paranoid delusions, which you don't want to get those people on the phone with the attorneys, because then the attorneys get, it's a little dicey. You've got to get the person off the phone. They say some crazy stuff here and there. Some, especially if you don't want to help them. If you're like, I don't think I can help you with your 35 bugged cell phones and the CIA putting bugs in your apartment. I don't think I can help you with that. That's not what I do. They'll start making death threats and wild stuff. Next thing you know, you're filing police reports, and you got an attorney losing 8 hours because intake couldn't ID someone who was not really doing okay, not doing so well, mental health wise, right? So that's another reason why it's just like, just give us your full name. If you don't want to, that's okay. We don't mind. No harm, no foul. We're not going to put an attorney on with you, though. It's just not a good sign in terms of our experience. If you're like, I don't want to share my name. Okay. I respect it. No thank you in terms of an attorney call, but I respect it. Also, the last reason to ladle is that like a lot of firms maintain DNC lists, do not call lists, because the funny thing about being a plaintiff's attorney, and I assume it's all plaintiff's attorneys, but it might just be employment attorneys, I don't know, is that you get a lot of people who harass your firm. Just people who are mad because you wouldn't take their case, or mad because you sued them, or it's a high impact career, right? So you get all these people, and we have a fairly built out system for identifying when they call. A lot of them don't understand that you can see their number, which is in 2024 kind of wild. But also a lot of them don't understand that like there's listen, they can be identified. But one of the easiest ways is you just keep a list of names, because sometimes people get a brand new number, and people just give their name, and you look it up and you say like, oh, is this the same, I don't know, Stephen Dubner as the one who like, and I'm not making fun of Stephen Dubner or anything, just like the name that sprang to mind. Stephen Dubner's like a podcaster, I think, or an economist or something. I don't know. Like, is this the same Stephen Dubner who told Vince he wanted to cut his head off? It's just like, because if it is, no, you're not going to get attorney time, no matter how good your case might sound, because we suspect it might just be a tall tale, and you're just trying to get on one of the attorneys so you can say some wild stuff to them, right? So, Nalato, listen. 1, we got to do the conflict check, ethical requirement. 2, people don't want to share their name, generally time wasters. 3, people don't want to share their name, often or occasionally not doing so well mental health wise, and it's not a form of mental health that we can necessarily help with, right? We're all for bringing cases for people who are experiencing workplace discrimination because of mental health issues in the workplace, right? Like I'm all on board with that. I'm less on board with, people just calling and harassing our firm and, people we can't help. We're not mental health professionals. We can't offer that kind of help. 4, we want to run our do not call list. We want to know if we just don't want to talk to somebody. And knowing your name is part of that. Anyways, I hope this helps. I wish you luck, Nalato. I'm sorry you're having a hard time getting through intake with some firms, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. I'm sure some firms already helped you out, I hope. And I hope that you bring your case forward and you get paid big time and you are vindicated and all the wrongs are righted. If this video was helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below, share the channel so it will grow. Take care.